Order. At this time, I'm going to ask Senator sitting right beside me to give us a good prayer this morning.
All right, I'll do that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us all together this morning. I pray that you will watch over our families, pray for discernment and grace at all we do, and pray that you will keep us safe as we continue to work in this Capitol building and serve the citizens that we represent every single day, and do it with you, in honor of you. Amen.
Amen. All right, welcome everybody. We're gonna be on a tight schedule, and I hope the other two, the senator and the other representative gets here, because I know several of us got to be somewhere at 8:30. So, Representative New, since you're here, let's go on with your bill.
Thank you, sir.
I didn't say you could sit there. Welcome to the Senate. You may sit.
Thanks, sir.
And senators, just to let y'all know, this is her first bill.
Be kind, birthday girl.
The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today about State House Bill 165. This is a simple cleanup bill requested by the Department of Natural Resources to address an oversight in previous legislation. In 2020, the Historic Preservation Division was transferred from the Department of Natural Resources to the Department of Community Affairs. In this transfer, Agora exemption for sensitive historical and archaeological records was moved from the Department of Natural Resources to the Department of Community Affairs. However, the Department of Natural Resources still retained the office of the state archaeologist. This houses our historical sites, our historical cemeteries, and our Native American burial grounds. So this bill would simply restore that exemption to ensure sensitive archaeological sites continue to be protected. And that's it.
Let's back up just a little bit. Everybody's working off of LC 510265, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Any questions for the representative? Senator Steele, what number are you?
Number 4.
All right.
Representative, good morning.
Good morning.
Seems you have a keen interest in archaeology.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about the history of the building that we're sitting in right now?
That's a great question. I will be going on the Capitol tour later today.
Fantastic.
So I will refer to your question tomorrow.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Six.
Good morning, Representative.
Good morning, Senator.
This is my favorite representative of my Paulding delegation.
Oh, wow.
A little bias. Do we have any of these locations or historic sites or properties in South Paulding that we're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of, but that doesn't mean they're not there. I'm not an archaeologist, and you have to be an archaeologist to have that information.
Got it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
What number?
Okay, it's working.
You on? Don't kill it.
Good morning.
Take out all of my aggression before I get to Chambers. No. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Go back and talk about the historic preservation of, you said, sites. What sites are we protecting?
Okay, so it's our historical sites, our historical cemeteries, and our Native American burial grounds.
Okay.
The sites themselves and the contents of them. And we're doing this so that they won't get looted, or vandalized. Somebody won't go Indiana Jones and go out there. So to get this information, you would request it from the Department of Natural Resources. And based on the need, they would give you this, but just an individual can't just request this information. That way we can protect them so that they don't get lost to history.
We have burial grounds for, I know there's Andersonville National Cemetery in my district, so that's pretty secure. I'm sure they have, what do I want to call it? Protections already in place. What about, do we have any slave-owned cemeteries? Do we have where slaves were buried that are unprotected, that need protection?
That is a great question. I don't know. I would think that we
Something
do,
we need to check on.
but that would be a department question, but I'll find out that answer for you.
I'll check with Mark.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Senator.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Representative,
Yes, sir.
is it true that the reason you really bringing this bill is that you trying to get you a free cemetery plot?
Who told you that, sir? I'm going to need their name and their address. No, sir.
Yes. What number? 8.
I actually do have a little bit more rigorous question, but this is one that actually might mean something to the people that have to deal with it. Are you familiar with SHPO clearance or State Historic Preservation Office clearance?
Not a lot of it, but
If you're, you want to do something construction-wise, build something, whatever, a lot of times you have to get SHPO clearance. That's through the State Historic Preservation Office. My question is when I look at this language, what you're doing, you said certain records moved to DCA, and then this is staying in the department, and they can keep those records separate. What's going to happen with people across the state that need to get SHPO clearance?
so the historic preservation, you said you had to go through the Historic Preservation Division to get the SHPO clearance. is that-
That's where
Okay.
they've historically have been.
Okay, so that has not changed. That just moved departments.
And so it's
So-
going to which department?
It went to Community Affairs.
So how's Community Affairs going to access these records at DNR?
Okay, so the Historic Preservation Division transferred to the Department of Community Affairs in 2020. And so I'm working under the assumption that they will work exactly like they did. They just moved it over there because their mission statements were the same. So, however, the Historic Preservation Division, how you got your SHPO clearance before would stay the same, because this has not changed anything on that side. This is for the archaeologists, the Office of State Archaeology. We were encompassed, and we already had this GORA exemption. And then when they shifted that over to this department, it was just a unintended consequence
Did you,
of the archaeology side. So this is to protect our historical sites. So I'm assuming all of that is exactly as it was. It didn't change that. This is zoning in on the archaeology side.
the Representative New, did you happen to bring anybody from DCA or the DNR to?
They were not here. They were not able to make it this morning, but I did speak with Donald and Jeff, and they're the ones who brought me this bill. It is a
Okay.
department bill.
I'll catch up with them in another time, I guess.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
All
Thank you for
right.
the question.
We, because of time, we're gonna need to move on.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion.
At this time, what is your motion?
Do pass House Bill 165, LC 510265. Second.
Got a second? Any more discussion? Raise your right hand, all in favor. All opposed? Look like you, Ms. New, look like you not new no more. I mean,
Time for a nap, sir.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you all. I appreciate your time.
Good luck on that free cemetery lot
I'll be
too.
working on that too.
All right, we're gonna ask for the next bill, Bill 207, House Bill 207, from our Chairman of Game and Fish, my representative, Trey Rhodes.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, let me put on my right name tag when I
All
for
right.
y'all over here.
We won't work you so hard because I know you're not new, so we know
Well, I don't know.
This is not your first bill. So
You are new to me. You're my new senator.
I hear you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of
Give
the
us the
committee.
LC number.
Have before you this morning House Bill 207, LC 393754S.
Everybody got,
Y'all looking at the right one?
all right?
Okay, this is a department bill update. Basically, it's just does a few simple things. Section 1 clarifies last year updated requirements for visual distress signals, and it limits them to just coastal waters. There was a typo that had all waters, and we don't need these type things on our lakes around the state. We just need it to be on our coastal vessels. So that's what that section does. Section 2 clears up a loophole we had in our boating collisions and in accidents. The old way existed is they had 48 hours to report the incident. We had a few bad accidents, even including fatalities, that this created a big mess. So basically what this does is says they have to stay on scene until an officer clears them to leave. That's all the bill does, Mr. Chairman. I'll be glad to take any questions and try to answer them.
Any questions? All right, no questions.
I'll make a motion.
Make a motion.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion. We do pass House Bill 207, make sure I get the right LC number, 393754S
Okay.
for our esteemed Lieutenant Governor Floor Leader that's here in the room for us.
I thank you.
You're welcome.
We got a second from Senator Sims. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Carries.
Thank y'all. See you soon. Have a good day.
Just, Mr. Chairman, before you leave, just let the House know that we passing out some House bills. We would like
I'll be glad to report that.
we'd like to see some of
Moving over here
the
on this
Senate
side.
bills.
Yes, sir.
What? You should keep the name. Why are you taking the name tag off? Just to
Well,
go
I am.
back.
I'm
Don't be embarrassed.
Oh,
It's
you're not?
okay.
No, I'm not embarrassed. I just didn't want to offend anybody.
All
Are you
right.
allowed to wear that on the other side, or is it?
We do.
You do? That's awesome.
Jason Ridley wears his all the time. But that's why I pick and choose when I do. But I wear it when it's most important.
We're gonna stand at ease for about 2 or 3 minutes. We're gonna give the senator, I know he's in traffic, but we got a text that he's supposed to be here in about a minute or two.
I was thinking,
Chairman.
members.
What number you,
I am number 2.
number who?
Number 2.
All right.
Good morning, members. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're bringing today SB 228 for our Senator Rahman. This bill will create the position of the Director of Outdoor Resources within the Department of Natural Resources. The Director of Outdoor Resources will be responsible for increasing outdoor recreation based on economic development, education, tourism, and ecotourism by attracting outdoor recreation industries to Georgia. So that's what it does, and I will turn it over to our witness, our testimony, to kind of explain a little more for us.
State your name and your position for the record.
Absolutely, Chairman, thank you.
You should be on.
There we go.
You on?
Thank you, Chairman and committee members. My name is Ben Murray, and I work for the National Marine Manufacturers Association. NMMA is the leading trade association representing the recreational boating industry throughout North America. We represent over 1,300 members and more than 80% of the boats, engines, trailers, accessories, and gear used by the boaters and anglers throughout the U.S. and Canada. So as the kind lady said about Senate Bill 228, this bill would establish the Director of Outdoor Recreation within the Department of Natural Resources. There is a companion bill on the House side that was carried by Chairman Ron Stevens regarding this bill, and there was a hearing last week in Chairman Rhodes' committee about this as well. So in regard to outdoor recreation in the state of Georgia, it's a $13.2 billion industry representing over 139,000 jobs and accounting for nearly 3% of the state economy. And when you think about outdoor recreation, and specifically this position as a whole, you're wondering, you know, what does this do? How does this differentiate currently from what DNR is currently doing within their department? And one way to best explain that is a director of outdoor recreation is an advocate for the outdoor industry within the state government. So it is an individual that actually addresses outdoor recreation companies' barriers to growth in the state, promotes their great achievements, recruits companies in tandem with the Economic Development Department and some of the other interagency collaborations within the state. You know, it allows opportunities from private and nonprofit entities to be able to promote those opportunities. And the biggest thing is currently there is no representation at the statewide level or governmental level for the growth of the outdoor recreation companies. And so what you think about what is unique about this is outdoor recreation is made up, just like all industries, in 3 components. You've got your public, you've got your private, and you've got your nonprofit. But what's interesting about this is the large scale of investment in industries across our state as well as the nation. So, you know, you look at this specifically in regards to what Georgia is doing. So you've got, you know, incredible outdoor recreation opportunities in Senator Sims' districts. You've got incredible opportunities in Senator Goodman's district and some boat manufacturers just right outside of his district, and that he's had the opportunity to tour. And so that's who I'm speaking on behalf of today. And the biggest thing is, you know, this is new. The DNR does an incredible job with what they're currently doing in the program, and I had an incredible conversation with the commissioner yesterday, and I think there's just a few more details that we've got to iron out with the commissioner, and we're going to be doing that in a few weeks. So we really appreciate the opportunity for being able to have this hearing. And like I said, this is fairly new. There is 18 other states that have either a position, an office, or a task force that solely focuses on growing the outdoor recreation economy and the industry. One of the most recent ones was the state of Arkansas, and that is what we're looking to replicate this after, is the state of Arkansas and the incredible work that they've been doing out there. And like I said, since this is the federal government did not start studying outdoor recreation until 2017. So the Bureau of Economic Analysis is, you know, releasing this data, and the most recent one was $13.2 billion for the state of Georgia, but for the entire country, it was $862 billion. And just to give you a little bit of perspective. Go ahead.
I'm gonna just
Yes,
kind of cut in right here.
Absolutely.
Let's let the senator talk a little bit.
Did a great job, Robert.
I think he was doing an excellent job. Sorry, apology for being late. I didn't mean to, but anyway, I know we're late, so I'm not gonna say most of the stuff.
He pretty well
probably,
said everything,
you know,
Senator. I mean,
he's probably said everything, but I think we are #1 state to do business. My goal is to make sure we are #1 state for outdoor recreation, and you know, family to live and explore and enjoy life in Georgia. And this bill actually came out of outdoor study committee that I had, and I want to make sure this is one of the most bipartisan bill to come out this session or in recent years. That's my number one goal. So I won't take much time. I know it's a hearing, but that's my goal, and I want to continue to work with the department. DNR doing an excellent job, but there are still stuff that we probably not coordinating. There's a lot of stuff going on federally, so I want to make sure the DNR work with other states and locally with the federal government and the county and all the entity with private and government together to make it a success and make sure we are known for the number one state for outdoor recreation too. And that is my number one goal.
Thank you. All right, we got a question from the Senator again.
Shake, I appreciate you bringing the bill, but one of the things that concerns me is the way that this is set up is it's the director of outdoor recreation. And for me, the inside DNR in their parks, I have a old college classmate named Jeff Callan. Spent most of his career at EPD, was a branch director for all over land protection. But his title is Director of State Parks and Historic Sites Division. And for me, I'm thinking about, okay, are we just creating more directors? I think about he's got all the state parks and what's going on with that under his, he does what's going on in that regard. And I just said, well, what are we not getting to duplicity on?
What my goal is, doesn't matter the way it says a director, we don't have to call it director. I want to make sure we assign someone, could be under that, I want to talk with the industry leaders and outside group and what's going on with federally, the money that we can probably get a grants, and we can work with the government, state government, and the private entity. That's my number one goal. Doesn't have to be the title. We can change the title. I talked to the DNR commissioner yesterday. It doesn't matter what's the title. We want to make sure we dedicate someone to work on it, be a cheerleader for this industry. That's my number one goal. His title it doesn't matter. We can keep your friends. We can give him the title. Somebody could be a deputy, work under him, and get this job done. What do we want to do?
Well, just the language in the bill, if that's were to pass, it would create a new director's position that would be in competition with the existing.
We do not want we do want more government for sure. I could be a Democrat, but I'm not for more government. Okay? So I want to make sure.
You might be a Republican.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm a Georgian first. I want to make sure we take care of Georgian. I want to make sure we take care of the industry. I want to make sure we take care of the people of Georgia. That's my number one goal. And I want to make sure we're not only number one state, as I said, we want to be number one state for other things too.
All right, Senator Sims, what number you, I can't see. 12.
There are many Democrats that do not carry the label of being anti-business. We are very, very much pro-business. Also, and that's what you're speaking to. You're speaking to connecting economic development. As a state that is constantly growing, we are number 8 in population now, I think. We have to look beyond just the little parks where the kids would go and we put them on the swings and they go up and down. Now we're thinking about a larger role of economic development. And that is the big picture here. We gotta look, the scope has to be much wider and much bigger. And I know that's what you have in mind. Economic development is what Senator Goodman needs in his district, and especially in my district too, where we are challenged with everything. And we want to find any kind of job relationships that we can have, or job relationship that we can have to make our districts stronger economically. So I'm with you all the way, not because you're a Democrat, because it makes sense to me.
Did you have a question?
And we're gonna get rid. How long your friend's been there? He hadn't thought of this, so he may need. He may need to move on. We may need to find.
If I want to make a quick comment, say nationwide outdoor recreation generated $862 billion in output and 4.5 million jobs in 2021. In total, the outdoor recreation economy contributes more to the U.S. economy more than oil and gas extraction, mining, and agriculture. So, this is big industry, and it's not only that economic, what you're talking about businesses, we want to make sure this is the well-being of our citizens, because when you talk about outdoors activities and everything else, that's, that's the health. That's the growth, that's the mentality, that's how we survive, that's,
managed growth. It's not just something here, something there, something, it's
We-
managed well.
We need to move on.
managed
We need to move
economic
on.
growth.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I appreciate it.
I was trying to figure out your
wake up
question
now.
in there, but anyway, we're gonna take one more question, then we're gonna have to wrap it up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator, thank you for the bill. I think my comments are, trying to figure out, whether this should be a director position. I don't know. I'll be interested to see kind of where y'all go with the commissioner on that. But I do support, the idea, as someone who, does a lot of stuff, recreationally outdoors. I know near me, Yamaha has a big presence in North Cobb County. My neighbors, past, present, future, have worked at Yamaha. And I know a lot of their sales, and one of my constituents also runs the largest Polaris dealership in West Georgia, probably actually could be North Georgia, all of North Georgia. And so I know that whatever we can do to, promote greater access, to being outdoors and outdoor recreation, across the gamut. Even the founder of BOTE, B-O-T-E, was a Georgia resident. I know they have a big presence in Florida. But, doing this, and I think promoting what you're trying to do helps these companies sell product, keep their employees employed. But I think, we all would agree, just from an ecotourism perspective, has a significant impact on just daily life and, work-life balance that I think we all try to achieve as being a healthy state, but also I think to the senator from Albany mentioned, being strong economically. So I do love this idea. I don't know if the director is the right, I'll let y'all figure that out, but whatever I can do to, at least be supportive to move in a direction to get this done, you have my support.
Thank you, Senator. I appreciate it. We have more than over 22 letters of support. I'm going to give it to you later on, maybe. Just to name a few of them, like Children Nature Network, Park Pride, South Foundation, Georgia Conservancy Trust, Public Land, the Conservation, you name it, National Sports Fishing Association, National Wild Turkey Federation. We have 22 some letters of support. Because I don't want to bore with you, I'm going to send you at each of your office, we have the letter, you can see it. Because we have a broad support, and I know all of you all signed it. We're going to get it done. I don't care what it says title. Title is not important. Important is to get the job done. And that's what we intend to do with all of your support.
Senator, I'm gonna wrap it up right here and just say that, we like what you wanna do. I appreciate you getting with the commissioner
Thank you.
and working it out and iron it out. And, another concern is where's the money gonna come to, have this position. And this is just stuff you need to work out with the commissioner. And I think, I'm all for getting people outside, enjoy life. So, we appreciate what you're doing.
What are the money we're going to invest? We're going to get a much more. I was in business 30-some years, chairman, and we know in any penny we're going to invest, we're going to get $1 out of penny.
Okay.
This is going to happen.
Spoken like a
Thank
true
you.
Republican.
All right.
I'm a great Georgian first.
At this time, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Senator.